everybody. This is Dear Mama Sal, and we are live on a Friday evening. And as usual, on a Friday evening, we hopefully are going to smile a little bit. I try and find a fun person and talk a bit about their quotes, which 9 times out of 10 starts pretty well, and then we end up veering off into wherever it is we want to go. For those of you who are watching for the first time, welcome. We always are delighted to have people come join us, and you don't need to participate in the chat if you don't want to. That's absolutely fine with us. Hi there, Jody. And we really value the fact that it hopefully some of the broadcasts will be of some benefit for you. The one thing that we're all doing this year is working on our emotional intelligence, which has been quite interesting, to put it mildly. I certainly have benefited from it, and I'm hoping a lot of other people have as well. Plus, this year, we're also looking at our health. And at the moment, 3 of us are busy fasting. Actually, Jody, just so that you know, I'm trying to remember who it was that wrote to me this week, but somebody else we know. Nolene, I think, is fasting as well. She's in Australia, I think. Anyway, so somebody down that way is also fasting at the moment. So we've got quite a few of us that are doing it. And, I'm going to keep sort of updating you guys to let you know how I feel. I failed this afternoon. It was so funny. I was doing so well, and I'm just trying to see how many hours I got up to. But I was busy doing something. I had promised Jody that I would do a video for her about how I make my sourdough multigrain bread. And so, that was fine. and I was busy between the broadcasts, and I was busy doing the video to finish the bread one, but then it came out of the oven. And then I'm going, this is not good. And I looked at my app to see how I was doing, and I only managed how many did I manage today? Hang on a second. I've got to have a look at this. 16 hours and 42 minutes. I was going for 18, but that smell of that bread was too much for me. And I really, I did go, Sal, 16 hours is pretty darn good. Be happy. Jody's saying that she ended hers at 20 hours. You were going for 24, Jody? You see, and I think, Lauren's still at hers. How many hours are you in at the moment, Lauren? So you see, there are a group of us that are all trying this intermittent fasting, and I cannot believe that I'm actually doing it. And it's easier than you think. And I don't know, but for me, it feels easier than anything I've tried before. I don't know how to describe that because it doesn't make any logical sense. Oh, Lauren's also on 20 hours. Wow, that is amazing. I have definitely said that I was going to, have this was going to be 18 hours if I could do it this week. Jody was going for 46. But she had a bit of a stressful day. So I totally understand, Jody. You see, the good news is, Jody, all you have to think of what you would say to me if you heard that I'd done that, and then you'd have the answer, right? And because I've noticed, Jody, that you are very compassionate of others. But, you do beat up on yourself remarkably well. All right, so you've been fasting, Lauren, since yesterday early afternoon. So 20 hours is pretty darn good, honey. Is this the first time you got past 20? I definitely would be doing a happy dance if I managed to get to 20, but I'm happy at the moment with what I'm doing. I'm very proud of myself for what I've done. And I actually feel, I was saying to Jody, a really peculiar thing has started to happen. I've had a numbness in my big toe for 2 years minimum with obviously the onset of diabetes. And for some reason, I noticed today that that toe is not feeling numb to the degree that it was. And I literally said, I don't know if I'm imagining this or not. Now, I've decided today, because I wanted us to have a chance to smile a bit, to do some quotes from Ellen DeGeneres. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but she definitely amuses me. She has just a wonderful slant on life, and I don't think it's a view. I think it's a slant. You know what I mean? It's just like, there's sort of other people's opinion, and then there's Ellen. Right. So Jody is saying she's wondering if some nerve damage is healing. Is that possible within 2 weeks? That's what I thought as well, Jody. And I'm going, I think maybe I'm imagining this, because I cannot believe that is possible within 2 weeks. Of course, if it is possible, then I am very impressed. All right. So here's a quote from Ellen. She said, just go up to somebody on the street and say, "You're it." And then run away. Actually, I touch them, go, "You're it," and then run away. How many of you could see me doing that? And then she said, I really don't think I want buns of steel. I'd be happy with buns of cinnamon. There's my girl. So she also said, in the beginning, there was nothing. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. There was still nothing, but you could see it a whole lot better. Okay, so Jody is telling me, apropos of the nerves in my toe, she's saying it could be that when I started to change my diet back in December, that's a good point. When I changed my diet back in December when I was diagnosed, and it's just beginning to show the benefit of it now, that would be very interesting. I certainly will keep an eye on it and let you know. But as you know, the incredible thing is I have noticed that I have not had an outbreak of psoriasis for, touch wood, for at least a couple of months. So something is changing. Yeah, buns of cinnamon. I like that as well. All right. So here's what she said about space aliens. She said, the only thing that scares me more than space aliens is the idea that there aren't any. We can't be the best that we can't be the best that creation has to offer. I pray we are not all that there is. If so, we're in deep trouble. I don't know if any of you saw. I don't know if any of you saw Jimmy Carter's interview today. But it was, talk about saying something. He sort of came out with something, and then the interviewer said, "Did you really just say da-da-da?" And he said, "Well, if I said it, it's there." And he was just like, "Yeah," and it had to do with the Russians and the fact that he thinks we have an illegitimate president. Now that's going to be a phrase that catches on somewhere, I'm sure. Right. So here she said, when I go hiking, I get over the hill. That means I'm past the hard part, and there's a snack in my future. And that is a good thing as far as I'm concerned. How many of you relate to that? Be it, I don't know about Lauren, when you're fasting, do you sort of take note of when you're halfway through the fast so that you're on the back end of it? I actually don't. I sort of forget about it until I'm about 2 hours away from where I want to go. Then I notice it. And I have to do some serious distractions of my mind in those last 2 hours, which I failed at today because, it's all Jody's fault. What can I say? Jody, I'm just going to blame you for it. That's just, it had nothing to do with me whatsoever. And she said, but seriously, I think overall, in the scheme of things, winning an Emmy is not important. Let's get our priorities straight. I think we all know that the only important thing in life, there's only one important thing in life, and that is winning an Oscar. Okay, so Lauren is saying, I occasionally look at my app to see where I am, but if I'm struggling with it, I'll look at the time. The time you've got left. How many more hours you've got to go? Yeah, and do not bake bread. I can just tell you this from my own experience. Do not bake bread. I was doing absolutely fine until it came out of the oven, and that smell was just so good. And I went, oh, well, I got to taste it now. Uh, it's just so funny, isn't it? How these little things. But, I do have to say, and I will keep saying, that it is very strange to me, other than the incredible hunger pang I had about 2 o'clock this morning. What is it with this, strange, I start the, I start the fast at 11, so it's 12, 1, 2. It's 3 hours in. I get this hunger pang, and it's 2 nights in a row I've had that. I want to tell you, it took every bit of my control to not go to the fridge at 2 o'clock this morning, and I just went, "This is insane." I've only been fasting for 2 hours, and I want food. 3 hours, but luckily it went away pretty quickly. And then she said, accept who you are. Yeah, unless you're a serial killer. Oops. In which case, do not accept who you are. Be a better person. She said that life is short. And if you doubt her, ask a butterfly. Their average lifespan is a mere 5 to 14 days. Can you imagine what you'd have to pack in? I was busy. I have this routine that I go through to do the broadcast. And it was funny because when Manon was here, I think, other than Yvonne, Manon is the only person that's ever seen the countdown. And I've got a routine that I go through. If it's this time, it is time to do this. If it's this time, so many hours to the broadcast, I need to be doing this. And if I got this time, it was so funny because I just realized when Manon was here, I said, I need to get ready for the broadcast. And she said, but it's 2 hours away. And I said, yeah, but, believe me, I need to start getting ready for the broadcast. And she she found that amazing. Because, there are all these little bits, you got to design, you got to come up with a subject. That's a good idea every now and then. But then, you need a thumbnail, and then you need to advertise it, and then you need to, have clothes, put some makeup on, and it all takes time. And the last cup of coffee comes in at 10 minutes to whatever the broadcast time is. And the final trip to the washroom, it all fits into this incredible little funnel. And boom, and the time comes and I turn on the broadcast. But it wasn't until Manon was here that I realized just how long it takes. And literally, that she was amazed that I literally put on my headphones and then go and it just fits in. Hi then, Anna, good to see you. How are things in your life? So do any of you feel like that as well, that your life is in such a routine? That God forbid if anything should go wrong, because the routine goes in this order. And Ellen said, people always ask me, were you funny as a child? And she said, well, no, I was an accountant. How many of you, know that if you're funny, you've been funny all your life? You didn't learn this as and funny is not, I don't think funny is something that you, um, that you just train for. I mean, you may train to have better delivery or whatever, but I don't think you train to be funny. I think you either are funny or you're not. What do you think? Have you got friends that are funny? Or do you have friends who think you're funny? I'm so looking forward tomorrow because I'm going off to see Marnie and Grover and Bella, the other dog. But I know, I know that I will laugh a lot. And the funny thing is, the reason I laugh a lot with Marnie is she is the ultimate straight player. Do you know what a straight player is? It's like, you know, you know, every comedian needs a straight guy, as they call it, and she really does play that so well, and she is such a delightful klutz. It just amazes me and amuses me so much. So the other thing is, she is the only friend I know that I'm aware of, anyway, that you can open her fridge and, and there is nothing in her fridge. I mean, I've never been to somebody's house before where you can open up the fridge and you go, well, that's a lot of blank space in there. She doesn't like to cook, so guess what? There's nothing in the fridge. And I can remember one day I was in her fridge and I said, "Can I make myself at home?" And she said, "Sure." And I opened up the fridge and I said, "No, I can't." And I just closed the fridge again. No milk, no cheese, no bread, and, fresh air. Well, actually, not so fresh, but cool. Uh, and it was just like, I think there was one little something, like something that had come home from the restaurant, but that was it. It was just an amazing moment for me, and I went, "What do you eat?" She said, "It's frozen." She buys these frozen dinners from Jenny Craig or wherever, and she just everything they eat, is or they go and buy a salad. And it's just like neither she nor her mother like to cook, and you're going, "Go figure that one." Monkey see, monkey do, right? Hi, Carrie. How are you feeling, Carrie? All right. So Jody's saying, I can't retell a joke at all, but I make people laugh talking about the simplest things. Yeah, it is funny, isn't it? I find, there are a couple of people in my life, and definitely Marnie is one of she brings out the worst in me in a lot of ways. You remember Ange in Vegas did the same thing. All right. Because I don't know what it is when I'm around that sort of personality. Um, you know, I just end up being twice as funny as I would normally be, and it's just like, and Marnie will just look at me absolutely straight faced. The more she does that, the more I laugh, and the more I laugh, the more I get insane, and then she'll go, "You mean it's not all about me?" And I go, "No, Marn, it's all about me." And she goes, "Oh." So it's going to be a fun afternoon, hopefully. Now, Ellen said, it is our challenges and obstacles that give us layers of depth that make us interesting. They are fun when they happen? No. But they are what makes us unique. And that's what I know for sure. I think. Hi, Niasha. You know, it's just like, yeah. How many of you agree with that? That it's our challenges and obstacles that make us who we are. All right. If we hadn't had those challenges and those obstacles in our lives, you wouldn't have the character. I'm thinking about Jody or Kerry or Nana, or Lauren, without all that you have been through in your life and continue to go through, you wouldn't have the character that you do. And I think that is the amazing thing. I think about, you know, Marnie, and what happened to her at a very young age. When I say at a very young age, but in her early 20s, she had something devastating happen to her. And it took her, in my view, about 20 years to get um, comfortable with her reality. And, I think, boy, nobody wants to have a 20-year-old go through a devastating crisis. And then you look at it and you go, but who she is today is because of that. Surviving what she survived was all part of who she is. And I keep thinking about that, Lauren. I look at all the drama in your family, and I really believe that all that drama is there to teach you stuff. It's not by chance. Nana, how's your neighbor doing? I wanted to ask you that. And Kerry, I'm glad that you're feeling a bit better, because you definitely weren't feeling too swift at lunchtime. And, thank you for the discussion about dogs. Jody's doing some research for us all so we can find out what is the right thing to do with dogs in the heat. As far as she can research, because she loves to research. So we'll put a few tips up for everybody, for those of you who've got animals. I don't know what you do with cats, but cats are cats. They'll do their own thing anyway, right? All right. So Ellen also said procrastination isn't the problem; it's the solution. She and I agree so much. So procrastinate now. Don't put it off. And I have to tell you, I totally agree with her. There've been so many things in my life where I've gone, yeah, I just really don't want to do it now, so I'm not going to. And then, the amazing thing is that half the time I don't need to. She's like, okay, fine. And she said, if someone tells you you're weird, say thank you. Right? And Jody's saying, I resemble that remark. Yeah, I agree. But how many of you agree? Somebody said, boy, you're weird. You go, oh, thank you. Who wants to be normal? I'd rather be a bit weird. Or in my case, a bit very weird, right? And, I find it interesting, though. I don't know if any of you have aware of that. Okay, so what's Kerry's? Okay, Nana's PC is acting up. I'm sorry to hear that. The story of my life. I had 2 printers go in the same week, Nana, so believe me, technically, I know of what you speak. Kerry saying, I've been through some stuff, but I try to turn it around and use the tools I've got to make it positive. Yeah, and Kerry's also saying, I'm weird, and I love my weirdness. Yeah, I think hi, Sharon. What's normal? Right, exactly. Who would want to be normal? Boy. So, be grateful for all that you are, because you wouldn't be all of this without all the things you've been through in your life. And so I'm very grateful for that. And as I was saying in that vlog that I put up, called Impact, that I didn't realize that who I am had such an impact on people, to the degree that I found out that day. And I was actually quite confused by it all. I'm going, Why why um why is everybody treating me so nicely? It was just like everybody up there. Yes, Nyasha, well done. You see, Nyasha, you've grown so much. You're learning to accept them. And it was really funny, Nyasha, because I was talking to Jody this week about something, and she was thanking me. She and another person that wrote to me thanked me for talking about the fact that I was obese. You know, way overweight. And that I have learned to call it for what it is. I don't have to pretend that I'm just overweight. I'm obese. And this is a great place to move away from. And I'm looking forward to being overweight. This is my new reality. My goal is to make it to overweight. Now, not many people can laugh about that, but I can. And it's about, I don't know about anybody else, but I appear to carry most of my obesity in my stomach. I look like I'm about 4 months pregnant, which we know I'm not. Well, you would know. I mean, that's a weight ratio thing, Nana. I mean, I'm pretty certain you know what your ideal weight is. And it's very easy to check if you're obese. Just, Google it, and just do the check. This is my height. They've got a scale. This is my height. This is what I weigh. And it's very easy. I definitely have got a long way to go, and I'm looking forward to it. Um, all right, so Kerry's saying that Mike is on vacation and then you're enjoying your free time. We need a break from each other. We talk every day, but we're looking forward to seeing each other. So where did he go on vacation? You wear large ups. Ups or tops, maybe. Yeah, do you know what your BMI is, Nana? There's a really. Oh. He's gone to Arkansas, or you wear large. Okay, so you're not into the 2XLs or 3XLs, right? But it has to do with your height because you're pretty small as well. How tall are you? You don't know how much you weigh? That is really weird. Okay, Lauren's saying that I was told by a nutritionist last night that your waist measurement needs to be under 100 centimeters to be out of pre-diabetes. Really? I got a way to go yet. Well, yeah, Niasha's saying obesity, it's negative in her country, right? In Tobago. But hearing it from you, it doesn't sound as bad. Well, it is what I am. And Pat was as well. All right. So, to me, to me, yeah, and Lauren is. Um, Lauren is as well. So, Nana, that's what Google is for. I don't know offhand. I'd have to do the math or get my tape measure. 66 inches. That was very quick, Jody. No, wait a minute. It can't be 66 inches. 100 centimeters? No, no, no. No, no, no. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. You know what always makes me laugh? When I'm getting ready to do the broadcast, I always do my hair, and then I've smashed headphones over the top of it. Isn't it stupid? 100 centimeters is 39 inches. No, no, no. She wasn't asking. She wasn't asking about her height. She was asking about the 100 centimeters, I believe, Jody. Yeah, could you get those two brain cells going in the right direction, please? Now, this is really funny because we've been trying to measure ourselves. Now, if anybody wants to laugh, I've been busy trying to measure myself with a metal ruler. I've been doing it with a piece of string. Hang on, let's see if I can do it with this one. So I've got to be under, 100 centimeters, regardless of my height? That's a bit scary. Hang on a second. I've got to stretch the tape a bit. Oh, Lauren? How many times are you going to twist this, huh? Okay. No, I got it all twisted behind me. All right, let me see how I do here. Okay, Lauren, I've got about I've got about 13 inches to go. As I said, I appear to be carrying most of my weight around my waist. Okay, but that's a good goal. Thank you, Lauren. I probably ask you about that again. I'm really going to buy myself a tape measure that isn't metal. Yeah. Okay, now this one, I've got a feeling that a couple of you that I know, I've known better than others. Here's a quote that I think some of you will really relate to. Are you ready for this one? Ellen said, I see those picketers and I think, if I weren't a loving, nonviolent, spiritual person, I would really go over there and grab those signs and smash them over their heads and shove them up their asses. But I am a loving, spiritual person. How many of you relate to that one? I find that, Nyasha, I thank you for saying the thing about not being judgmental, but I I think I'm as judgmental as anybody. I do try and correct it, but quite often my first thought is quite judgmental, and then I have to do a little check with myself. Yeah, Sharon, like that as well. Yeah, I can relate to that though, Sharon, can't you? It's just like I know what I'd really like to do, but that's not very nice. you know. There have been times, I assure you, when my thoughts have not been as pure as the driven snow. Yeah. Okay, now here's the next one. Ellen said, go to bed in your fireplace and you'll sleep like a log. You gotta love it. Yeah, and then she said, nothing says the holidays like a cheese log. How many of you have a cheese log during the year, other than on celebratory days? How many of you actually make it accustomed to have a cheese log, Or is it something that we only appear to have when we're doing sort of entertaining type things? It's a very good point. I had never thought of it, but she's right. Actually, I have occasionally got myself something like that. Never, says Jody. I have occasionally, in the days when I could eat whatever I wanted to. And she said, the 60s were when hallucinogenic drugs were really, really big. And I don't think it's a coincidence that we had the type of shows we had then, like The Flying Nun. And some of the greatest music ever. You, when you think about it, it's just like, I am so glad I lived through the 60s, and survived it. And that I wasn't on drugs. That was the amazing thing. But, to me, I keep going, I have been so fortunate to have been through some of the best music ever written, in my view. And, it's so funny because our judgment of that music today is very different from at the time. It was just mind blowing, literally. And, I look at it now and go, I'm so glad I was young when that was going on. Things like the Birds and the Bee Gees, original stuff. And then, you go, wow, it's just like great, great memories for me. And then here's a very, very good, sort of mantra to have. She said, "Do things that make you happy within the confines of the legal system." Well, that hasn't stopped one or two people we know, right? Some people have gone outside the legal system, but anyway, yes, do things that make you happy. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow. And how many of you have planned a trip to go visit somebody? Right? I really do try. I was out to dinner with Benji this week, and I took him to dinner for a change. And now I'm going off to see Marnie. And the reason that I'm trying to balance all this out is because I realize that having the house on show and trying to sell my house is actually very confining. You can't make too much mess. I can't throw paint around the way I used to. Hi, Pat. I was talking about you. I can't throw paint around the way that I would like to. And so I need to get out of my sort of almost sterile environment and go and visit people with normal houses, that are not, like mine at the moment. I keep wondering where half my stuff is going to end up. Hi, Jamie. Long time no see. How are things in California, honey? And Patricia, are you camping? Oh, it's okay, Patricia. I was saying, if I and I hope I didn't misquote on this one. I was talking about being obese, and there were a couple of us that were owning that. I said, I've got a feeling that Pat fell into that category as well. You're still in Boston. Say hi to Heidi. Well, I'm sure you say hi to her all the time. Say hi from me to Heidi. And tell her I'm so proud of her. So, Pat, I don't know if you heard, but we've got this group of us now that are fasting. So we're really looking forward to trying to catch up with your weight loss. How many pounds have you lost now? You've been busy. Okay, Jamie, that's great to hear. We like that. Are you still at the spa? About 57 pounds. Wow. So we're going to try and cut. And now Jody beat you, right? Jody's already up to 88 pounds that she lost in the year. It's just amazing. I think it's in the year anyway. Okay, so here's the next quote from Ellen. She said, "I think people talk too much anyway. Some people are talking to me, and in my mind, I'm just like, shut up, shut up, shut up, blah, 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 blah." Have you ever done that? Yeah, I'm that person that never shuts up. Yeah, it's wonderful what Jody has done. And, she can't exercise. Although I'm trying to encourage her to go out there. I just want to know how far you can wheel, Jody. Just, I would like you to do it before the weather gets too bad or whatever. All right, Jody, just so you can go in 2019, I could actually wheel half a block or 3 rotations down the road. Because I've got a feeling you are going to build a lot of strength by doing that. So that's why, and wouldn't that be lovely to be able to take the little fluff ball out for a walk? Yeah, that's a nice one. Nana's saying, name your dog 5 miles so that you can say, I walked 5 miles every day. Yeah, it's amazing that she's done it, Pat. And she's, it really, and she's still, inspiring us to now join her. And she hasn't done it by anything other than just talking about her results. And you go, you're going to try it on a cool day, yes, or a cool evening, Jody. Don't think about the midday sun. What about a cool evening? All right. And I know, you see, there's part of me that knows that the English have a word for it, and the word is palaver. There's a lot of things you have to do so you can get out. I understand that. But I want you to be so proud of yourself that you actually, managed to go, 35, you know, um, cobblestones if necessary, and almost mark it. I wheeled myself from this point here to this point here, and get it on a map somewhere so that you can be proud. I just see great things in your future. and let's do it before the winter starts, right? Because that would be a good idea. Can you imagine what weight I would be if I actually bothered to get some exercise? That would be exciting, wouldn't it? All right. So Ellen said, never follow anybody else's path unless you're in the woods and you're lost and you see a path, then by all means feel free to follow it. Yeah, it's a bit that's sort of like, I never read the instructions unless I have to. All right, so here's what she said as well. Most comedy is based on getting a laugh at somebody else's expense. And I find that's just a form of bullying in a major way. So I want to be an example that you can be funny and kind and make people laugh without hurting somebody else's feelings. I think that's pretty relevant, isn't it? About, I used to say when I was on stage that the funniest thing is everybody thought I was so funny when I was on stage. When I was on tour and stuff, and they'd all say, God, you're so funny. And I go, and I didn't tell a single joke. And they went, right. I never thought about that. You didn't. And I said, no. You see, my life, if I'm honest about my life is quite a comedy all by itself. How many of you relate to that? I said the difference is I'm prepared to talk about it. I used to stand up on stage and talk about things that most people don't. And, everybody related. Just people don't talk about things like that. But I did and still do. Ellen said, I don't understand the sizes, the dress sizes anymore. There's a size 0, which I didn't even know they had. It must stand for, oh my God, you're thin. Yeah, is there one? Is there a -1? I got it down to a size 10 once, not for long. But I remember I remember that week that I was a size 10. I went and bought the most expensive suit that I could only fit into for about a month. I remember it very, very well. Now, how many of you can relate to this one? She said, I'm on the patch right now, where it releases small doses of approval until I no longer crave it. And then I'm going to rip it off. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Hello, I'm going to put my approval patch on so I feel better. This is a famous line, and I'm not sure who originally said it. Maybe it was Ellen, but she said my grandmother started walking 5 miles a day when she was 60. She's 97 now, and we have no idea where she is. Yeah, yeah. Ellen said friends will write me letters. They ran out of room on the front of the letter, and they write over at the bottom of the letter. Like I'm that much of a moron. Like I need it to be there. Because if it wasn't there, I'd get to the like if it wasn't there, I'd get to the bottom of the page. And so Kathy and I went shopping, and that's the craziest thing. I just don't know why she would end that sentence that way. Yeah, where else are you going to go except over, really? But we were taught to do it. How smart is that? Um, you know, you see, to me, that is really funny because how many of you, how many of you've given that some thought? Don't they know I know how to turn the page over? Oh, your cousin used to scold you for doing that, for putting the word over. Now, this one I've got to concentrate on. Hang on a second. I need to take a breath here. She said, normal is getting dressed in clothes that you buy for work and driving through traffic in a car that you're still paying for. In order to get to the job, you need to pay for the clothes and the car and the house you leave vacant all day long so you can afford to live in it. Isn't that true? Now, this is cute. Ellen said, I'm a godmother, and that's a great thing to be a godmother. She calls me God for short, and that's cute. I taught her that. Mm. You remember when I was down visiting the girls, Benji and Judy and the children? I was showing the girls the game that I play on my, when I need to take a break. And it was really funny because I said to Benji, it's a really good game for them to play because it requires lots of skills that have to do with commerce, and it'll teach them that everything has value, and that you need to restock things and do. It teaches them a lot of basics, and so that was quite funny. And I really taught all three of them how to play it, and they caught on very, very quickly. But what amazed me is while Benji and I were having dinner, he said, Sal, I got a question to ask you about the game. I go, what game? He said, the game that you taught us to play. And I'm going, really? And he said, yeah, we want to know. Apparently, the whole family plays it now in different ways, which I think is so cute. And I'd go, wow, isn't that interesting? So, but the interesting thing is not all computer games are bad ones, in my view. If you can play a game that keeps your brain working, and keeps, logically doing things, and it's fun to play, I think that's a good thing. I read somewhere, and I can remember Dr. Sanjay Gupta was talking about it. It's called, you keep asking me this, Nana, and I keep trying to tell you. It's called township. Um, I know you've asked me many times. Um, but there are different levels of playing it, and you can just play on your own. No, it's okay, Pat. I'm always appreciative that you're here. Don't worry about your Wi-Fi. Um, but it's a game you can play on your own, or you can play it as part of a co-op, which is what I am. And the co-op that I'm in has got all the way up to the top league, and so it's sort of like it really is an interesting thing where it teaches you and it rewards you for helping other people, which I really like. It doesn't teach you to just worry about yourself. It rewards you for helping other members of your team. And I think that's a great thing to teach everybody that plays. Ellen said, laugh as much as you can. Laugh until you cry. Cry until you laugh. Keep doing it, even if people are passing you on the street saying, I can't tell if that person is laughing or crying, but either way, she seems crazy. Let's walk a little faster. She said, emote. It's okay. It shows that you are thinking and feeling. And again, that's why I love going to visit Marnie, because I know I will cry with laughter. And it's not that she is necessarily that funny, but the two of us together are a very dangerous combination. I don't know what it is, but we find the strangest things very amusing. Ellen said, designing is my hobby. If I don't do what I do for a living, at some point when I don't have to do this for a living, I'll probably just do design work. I love finding really special pieces of furniture. All right? Isn't that nice? And I think part of our joy in life, for those of you who need to find, it's finding out what it is that gives you pleasure. I think one of the interesting things that we found out about Nyasha is how much she loves to learn. And I wonder if she realized that in her lifetime, that she really loves to learn, that she's like a sponge. If you point her in the right direction, she goes off until she's got something sorted out. And, I'm also amazed, how many people, for example, um, how many different viewers and people I know like art in some way or are creative in some way, and yet we all do it in different ways. And to me, that is so magical. And some of us draw, and some of us paint, and some of us throw paint, and some of us mix paint with other things, and and so everybody has their own and I think that's character. I think that is such a great um, character thing, and that it's wonderful that we all do it in different ways. Because to me, that's what gives life. That's what gives life texture, if you like. If we all did the same things, imagine how boring it would be. This is probably one of her better quotes, I think. She said, "Find out who you are and be that person. That's what your soul was put on this earth to be. Find that truth, live that truth, and everything else will come." So some of you are helping people. All right. That's when you're happiest, when you're helping people. How many of you that are on the broadcast right now, um, you know, know that when you can help somebody, you're at your best. And so to me, what happens is we think that, yeah, Pat feels like that. Um, Yeah, Nyasha's saying she didn't realize that she was a natural born learner, but her motto is never give up, right? Yes, you are very persistent. I love that about you, Nyasha, that you just keep going until you get there. Nyasha, if you get to know me better, you will find out. I don't know how many times, I've had something go wrong, and you know, Yvonne, and I know that Jody knows this of me. They know I don't quit. You know what I mean? This is like, you think you've got the better of me, you silly piece of electronic equipment. Think again. And I will keep going at it until if you can believe this, I brought a brand new printer this week. And I've got a vlog about it coming up, but I bought actually two. But I bought this new printer, and within an hour, I had really jammed enough paper on there that it didn't work. Can you imagine the words I was calling myself? And then I said to myself, the good news here, I am not the first bozo to do this. Where is my phone? And I'm quickly going, get me to YouTube. And got to YouTube. How to unclog. And I'm going, what's this thing called? Okay, the Canon TR2527 or whatever it was. And I literally am typing this into my Google, my YouTube. And then I'm going, there were quite a few people. I wasn't the first. There were quite a few people that actually had done videos on it. So we know they all did it. Because I'm pretty sure the way they learned was by doing the same mistake I did. And it actually is quite easy to undo it, as long as you know there's a trap door at the back. So it was a big learning moment. And I went, really? And I turned it around. Now, of course, this happened to me at night. And my printer is down on the floor. Now, getting up and down from the floor for me is getting a little challenging, but never mind, I'm down there. And when I'm down there, there is no light because it's dark in my bedroom. So now I've got to find the phone. And then I've got to find the flashlight on the phone. The most useful app I have is my flashlight. So I get the flashlight and I'm sitting there and I'm watching. Now I've got a problem because I need the flashlight, but I'm also trying to watch the video. It's just like, which of these are I want? I went, hang on a second. Now I need my tablet, my phone, and the printer. And, I literally was sitting there like this. Yeah. And, but I wasn't going to quit, Nyasha. Yeah, Nyasha's saying the word stubborn was used to me lots of times. But that's who you are. But you know what you are, Nyasha? Can I give you a word that's better than stubborn? I'd say you're curious. You are curious and you have a level of self-respect. You don't like failing at things, so you will keep at it until you learn how to do it. And because, so many people have used so many different expressions to describe you, you just keep proving them wrong in your own way. And I think that's wonderful. Now, I wanted to talk to you all about, does anybody relate to this where, you get something brand new and you manage to mess it up in the first hour? Am I the only one that does that? And I don't know why it decided to eat the paper like that. But then, of course, you've got to put another bit in there to make sure that it's really stuck. And then by then you've got two bits of paper in there, not one. And they're both stuck now. That's a serious problem. And I'm going, I can't believe I did this in the first hour. But by the way, the exciting thing, watch this, the exciting thing is if I've got it right, if I did it right, no comment on that one. I'm going to take a picture of this. Yep, that's good. And take that picture. And then if I did it right, hang on. I don't want that picture. I want that picture. Now see if I did it right. print. Oh, it probably isn't turned on. Oh, right. Anyway, but I think I managed to get it all set up to print digitally and remotely. Very exciting for me. But it helps if you have it turned on to start with. And you don't want me rushing over there to do that. But I can now have my phone here and print in another room. That's very exciting to me. So, Nyasha, I think, you have every reason to be very proud of yourself, really. Now, Nyasha, am I allowed to talk about something that you find uncomfortable? No, maybe the print rollers are too fast. No, maybe the user is too impatient. Nyasha, there's a difference between that. So the reason I want to do that, Nyasha, if you will, is I really want to discuss this physically challenged thing. And I want to ask your permission because I've got all sorts of people in the room that are physically challenged. And I want you to understand they don't take that as an insult. And I thought you might like to get their understanding of this. Because, to me, it's a, if you can desensitize yourself away from feeling that this is an insult, and just realize that it's a reality. Oh, I'm so proud of you, Nyasha. Okay, so who have we got here? Lauren, are you still with us? Lauren is physically challenged. Okay. Jody, would it be fair to say that you are physically challenged? So I look at it and I go, I am now physically challenged. Why? I cannot do the things I used to be able to do. I can't leap buildings anymore, or I can't get up and down stairs the way I used to. For example, Nyasha, just to give you an example, I wouldn't think twice about picking up my printer and walking downstairs, 10 years ago. Today, I think it would be dangerous. So I've learned to adapt, because I am now physically challenged. I'm not as strong. Okay, Nana also. All right. So I'm not as strong as I was. So do you know what I do now? If I have anything heavy, I go down the stairs backwards. All right. I literally will take the printer. I will do it on Sunday probably. I'll take the printer. I'll put the printer at the top of the stairs, and then I will start walking down the stairs backwards. And I will bring the printer down one step at a time. Now, why do I go down backwards? All right. It is because I can keep my balance better, because I will keep leaning forward. I'll go down a step, lean forward, get the printer and bring it down one step. I can see exactly where that printer is. And if I need to, I can use my knees to hold the printer while I hold on to the handrail on the staircase. Okay, have you got this picture, Nyasha? But you understand, 10 years ago, I could have just literally picked it up and trotted down the stairs with it. Today, I am physically challenged. I can't take that risk anymore, right? I am not that strong anymore. I'm not that, my balance is not as good. Right. And Nana's saying that stairs are hard for her with her knee. Hi, BoobTube. Good to see you, honey. Long time no see. Yes, but, a lot better than if you haven't got knees. Nana, which is, I'm thinking, so I look at Lauren. Are you still here? And Jody and anybody else, do you get upset about people saying that you are physically challenged? All right. Do you see that as an insult, or do you see it as a reality? That's what I'm trying to discuss. Yeah, exactly, Nyasha. If you are physically challenged, that's okay. It's like, it's okay for me to be obese. All right. It is what I am. And I am now physically challenged. I don't take that as an insult. It's my reality. Does that make sense, honey? That's what I want you to understand. Lauren is sitting without the use of her legs in a wheelchair. All right. She is physically challenged. Jody has, had this disease called lymphoderma, which, first of all, she had cancer. She overcame cancer and then blew up like a balloon. And so much so that she couldn't get into any regular shoes or any regular clothes or you name it. Jody, correct me where I'm wrong here. Yes, listen to this one, Nyasha. Good one, Jody. What Jody is saying is, this is what I am, not who I am. I am somebody who is physically challenged. That doesn't mean I'm stupid. I think you get those two things messed up a bit, Nyasha, that you think that when people say you're physically challenged, that it's saying you're stupid. No. No, honey. It's not that they think they're better than you. If you can see that you actually are physically challenged, right? You have some things in your body not working properly. Okay? And that is physically challenging for you. I got an itchy nose again. Do you understand? So that is like saying I have diabetes in a way that's physically challenged. Because it affects my nerves and does other things, right? So what I want you to do, and I just want you to start thinking about it. Do not see it, if you can, honey. Do not see it as an insult. It isn't. It's a reality. Jody is physically challenged. It's not a personality trait. Yes, exactly, Jody. She is physically challenged. She can't pop out of bed and rush to the washroom. To her, getting out of bed and getting to the washroom is a major performance. Right, Jody? Somebody knocks on Jody's door. She can't just jump out of bed and go and open the door like a lot of us can. All right? It takes her 5 minutes to get to the door. And so what I want you to see, Nyasha, is that there are a lot of people in this group of people that gets together and helps one another who know what it's like to be physically challenged, but they don't see it as an insult. It's not saying you're stupid. It says that your body, all right, slows you down. There's a difference. I do not judge Lauren's intelligence with her physical challenges. Well, Jody's, that's another problem. Yeah, no. But seriously, or Jody, right? You see, I don't judge Jody by what she can't do. I judge Jody by what she can do. All right? Regardless of what's going on in her life. And there have been times, Nyasha, that I want to tell you that I've literally written to Jody and said, am I asking too much? Yes. It's you and your brain, Nyasha. And Nyasha's saying, that's why I'm offended, because I think they think I'm stupid. It's got nothing to do with your brain and being stupid. Physically challenged has to do with your strength, with your ability to move. That is physical. If they say you are mentally challenged, that is the brain. And we know that you've got a very active brain. There's, you probably, outstrip a lot of people brain-wise and character-wise. So I want you to, if you can, if I could give you one gift, it is, I would love you to be able to think about this business, about, not taking offense when people say you're physically challenged. The answer is yes, I am. Okay, let me see what you say. And the big thing that got to me simultaneously was I was also told they thought they were stupid and they said that to your face. Really? Okay, that's a different thing. All right? Somebody telling you you're stupid is very different from somebody saying that you're physically challenged. My question is this, Nyasha, and I'm going to ask you a straight question. Is that okay? It's really important. You see, I've had this discussion with a lot of people, Nyasha, over the years. And I've met some pretty arrogant people who think they're smarter than your average bear. And I've also met people that judge others very harshly. Okay, hang on a second. I want to know if I can ask you this question. I know that we got a slight delay coming in here, but I don't want to ask you the question without your permission. You know, one of the things that we have to understand is we are each clever at different things. That is the thing that most people don't seem to get, that we are all clever, but at different things. Right. Wow, you've been telling so much. You're telling so much honesty. This is, that tells me you're really growing. Okay, I get permission. All right. Do you think you are stupid? You're saying the look on your face had them thinking you were stupid. That's stunned like, what the are you talking about? Yeah. All right. So, Nyasha, do you think you are stupid? Because I'd like to ask the room of people here. All right. So, but she heard you talk and it changed the way she thought about you. Was that to the better or the worst? Did after she heard you talk, did she think better of you or worse? I got lots of questions going on here. Sorry, honey. Um, all right. So the thing is this, that I don't think anybody in this room thinks you're stupid, right? I think that you are somebody that is, hasn't had the same opportunities as a lot of people. That doesn't make you stupid. All right. You, I don't know what level of schooling you have. Doesn't make you stupid. What it means is that you haven't had some of the advantages of other people. But I assure you that my experience of you is that you're a very smart cookie. It's just my experience of you. Because anything you've asked for help on, and I've sent you a link or a suggestion or whatever, you have followed up on most of them, which tells me that you are not stupid and you're not lazy and that you want to learn. You see, that's the interesting thing. You cannot convince me that you are stupid. My experience of you is not that at all. So, but I do want you to know, Nyasha, that we all have our version of what has happened to you. I am pretty sure that if somebody um, 10 years ago had walked up to me and said, "You're fat," I would have taken it personally. Pat, I wonder, I don't know if Pat's still here with the Wi Fi problem. Jody, I remember you saying to me, if it's, um, I think it's relevant to Nyasha. I can remember you saying to me that part of the reason you didn't like to go out is because people judge you, and you can hear children saying, "Why is she so fat?" Right? Pat's still there. Pat, when you were obese, did you also, have problems with people judging you for being fat? But was it true you were fat? You went all the way to secondary school. Right. Yes, I think you would have furthered your studies as well. But the good news is never stop learning, Nyasha. Right, Pat. You see this now? Watch this, Nyasha. Pat is still obese. Right? Jody says exactly she was judged every time she went out because her illness made her into this huge person. Yeah, she stands, not very tall, and then this illness blew her up like a big balloon. Jody, am I correct in saying that in the old days, I think they used to call it elephantitis? All right, and Jody is still obese and physically challenged. That's not an insult. Those are factual statements, right? Pat, right? Factual statement. You are still obese. So what I want Nyasha to understand is there is a difference between the correct label, if you like, and an insult. And I'm hoping that we're beginning to help her understand that. It took me a long time to be able to accept the fact that I was obese. I fought it very hard, and now I don't fight it anymore. Yeah, and Jody wrote to me, when was it, Jody? Even in the last month, you wrote to me and said, thank you for talking about being obese, because it actually, once you realize that that's just the truth, it's very freeing. It was called elephantitis. Yes, that's what I thought. And I told you, Jody, I've had it, so I understand. Listen to the progress Pat has made. I'm happy she says, I'm happy I don't have to have a seatbelt extender on the plane anymore. Well done, Pat. Is it like, this is real progress. Hey, I no longer need the fat person belt. And it's like, you see, when you can see it for what it is. And the other thing is, Pat, you don't take up two seats anymore, even though you're trying to sit in one. You know what I mean? When you look at it and get a sense of humor about it, it is amazing. Right. I don't want you to try, Nyasha. It's not an insult to say that you are physically challenged. It's a fact. Do you understand? It is a fact that you are. It's not an insult. If you have diminished strength, if you have less strength than most people, or if you have this, that, and the other, it is a physical challenge to you, right? It is what it is. It's a fact. I used to be able to dance, the night away for as long as I wanted. I can't do that anymore. When you take the emotion out of it, it is freeing, Nyasha. Right? And the same thing is, do you think a lot of people judge me, Nyasha, because I got white hair? That makes me stupid. I understand what you're talking about, Nyasha, because for a lot of people, as soon as they see I've got white hair, guess what? They start treating me like I'm stupid. And you know what I'm like? I'll actually look at them and I go, I know I've got gray hair, but do you think I've lost my mind as well? Because you're talking to me as though I have. All right? And I won't let people, do that to me. Or, some doctor's assistant who'll go, now listen here, dearie. And I go, excuse me, the last time I checked, I am not a dearie. Really. And you are being very condescending, and I'd really appreciate it if you would stop that. And treat me as a regular patient and stop talking to me the way that you think people with white hair should be talked to, because you are wrong. So this is about, Nyasha, I want you to understand that there is a difference between what is fact. Pat is obese is a fact, right? Jody is physically challenged is a fact. Lauren doesn't have the use of her legs is a fact. So she's wheelchair bound is not an insult, it's a fact. Jody, because she cannot stand on her feet properly, at the moment, but she's working at it. She can't do that very well. That is not an insult. That is a fact, honey. There is a difference. Now, the woman who said to you that you are stupid, how did you answer her? Am I right that you probably didn't know what to answer when she said that? Yes, you realize that coming, if the old story that we've always said, right? If you end up in the emotion of it, you will keep going around and get more and more emotionally tied up, right? This is the emotional bit. You want to let go of the emotion and deal with the fact. The fact is, yes, I am. Now, if somebody said to me, well, what do you expect? You're stupid. I go, really? On what do you base that? All right? I'd ask them to justify why they said it. Has anybody else here been called stupid? I have. You see, because to me, right? To me, it's like, did you just call me stupid? And I did this, Nyasha. I want to tell you that I saw somebody do this to another human being one day. I saw a highly intelligent businessman call somebody, stupid because they didn't have his education. And I stopped him. And in front of a whole group of people, because I do things like this, I said to him, tell me something. I happen to know the person that he called stupid. And I said, tell me something. How good are you at crochet? What? How good are you at crochet? Of course not. I don't do that. No, of course not. So I said, so you're pretty stupid on crochet, is that right? And he said, well, I suppose so, if you say it that way. I said, good. What about woodwork? How are you on woodwork? Well, no, I don't do that. Well, did you know that she does? You see, her talents are using her hands. All right? That doesn't make her stupid. Exactly, Nyasha, right? You said to her, I am not stupid. It's a manifestation of my illness. Right. And what I want you to understand, right, that when you stand up for yourself in a nice way, you don't have to be nasty. And so with this guy, Nyasha, and I said, I went down this laundry list of things I knew about this woman. She was very talented, very creative. I had this whole list of stuff, and how are you on this? And he's saying, well, I don't do any of that. I said, no, you're the stupid one. The only thing you do is business. That's the only thing you're good at. Or do you have other things I don't know about? Because I said, tell me who's stupid. This lady has a full life, full of creativity, full of laughter, full of this, that, and the other. And you're a workaholic. Tell me who's stupid. And he said, well, I get your point. I said, you don't get my point yet. And he said, what do you mean? I said, I haven't heard you apologize yet. That's my point. And he went, what? I said, I have not heard you apologize yet. How dare you insult somebody that way? And he, surprisingly enough, said, I think I've been a bit of an arrogant pig. I said, on that we both agree. Tell her. And he did. And he said, ma'am, from the bottom of my heart, I would like to apologize. Because I did judge you harshly, and that was wrong. I said, thank you. You have now gone up a notch in my estimation. I now consider you have character, because anybody who can apologize is not a totally stupid person. Well, you know something, Boob? It's funny because there were people listening to me. And, half of them were already, when they saw my eyes change, you all know that look, right? When they saw my eyes change, they all went, okay, here we go. He has no idea what he just started. And, I didn't quit until he apologized because she deserved an apology, in my view. Yeah, I believe you would have been there clapping for me, but it's not about me. It's not about why way from way good for you, Sal. It's about what would you do? There's that program. What would you do in this situation? Would you just sit and watch it, or would you do something about it? If I watch somebody being rude to a teller or something, a checkout person or whatever, I will actually do something about it. How, and to me, that is my right. All right. So, if I watch somebody be rude to a checkout person, I will talk over the rude person and I'll look at the checkout person and I'll go, don't worry, your next client, that's me, is going to treat you like a decent human being. I'm coming right up. So don't worry about this rude lady. I'm coming up and we're going to laugh. So, just finish with this one. Yeah. And it's funny because the person being rude will sort of look at me and go, what? I go, you're being incredibly rude to this lady. But I just want to tell her that, she doesn't have to hang on to you for very long because I'm going to be next and I'm going to make her laugh. It is not my goal in life to treat people like, the way you're treating her. So, Nyasha, thank you for allowing me to talk about this subject because I think in a way it's going to help a lot of people. You see, when we talk about these things, Nyasha, it's not just to you, it's everybody else that ever listens to this particular broadcast. And we never know who that's going to be, Nyasha. So you're going to be helping a lot of people. And the next person who calls you a label, ask yourself, is this true? Am I physically challenged? And if the answer is yes, actually I am, you go, thank you for noticing that. A whole different mentality. So if somebody says, I see you're having trouble, carrying this or whatever, I don't treat them like they insulted me. I go, thank you for offering to help. Yes, Nyasha, he definitely saw himself as superior. And that he was better than the other lady. Now, we all, I don't know if I can say this, but I want to tell you, I've fallen into that trap. I don't know if anybody else in the room has, where I have made a judgment like that. I can't tell you that I've never done it because I have. But I try very hard to not do it a lot of the time. The other thing is that I am aware that we are all here to learn. And I want to tell you, Nyasha, the fact that you can look at this and own it and see it for what it is a huge, huge step forward in your life. So, what I want you to do is every time you hear those words, physically challenged, I want you to go and think about Lauren is physically challenged. Jody is physically challenged. Sal is physically challenged. Nana is physically challenged, right, with her knees. And just go, I'm in very good company. It's not an insult. It's a reality. So if you can understand that, then life will change for you. And I am so glad if anybody ever calls you stupid, I would ask them based on what? I have the opposite thing that has happened to me, Nyasha, and I don't know if you will understand, it's not, you won't understand it, but if you can imagine this. I have had a lot of people in my life consider that I was way more educated than I actually am. And that's because, I do a lot of reading and I love, like you, Nyasha, I love learning stuff. And the really interesting thing is that, I've never been insulted because they thought I was better educated than I actually am. So that is the interesting thing. right? Which is we only get upset when we think it's an insult. When it's a compliment, we don't get upset. So to me, you know, I think it's really important that we understand the difference between, and I'm so glad you got there, Nyasha, that we understand the difference between what is emotional and what is fact. So somebody calls you stupid, you go, okay, that's interesting. What behavior have you seen that makes you think that I am intellectually stupid? Yeah, what was it that created that thought in your mind? And most people who make that sort of comment are the stupid people because they have just judged you without reason. Meatloaf wrapped in bacon, anything wrapped in bacon is a good one. Do you know, I found a really nice treat this week, Nana, which is slice cucumber this way, not slices like this, but cut it this way, and then put a piece of bacon, grilled bacon on top. Ooh, that is so good as a treat and healthy. I think you're allowed both those, aren't you? Yeah, sure. Absolutely, Nyasha. Nyasha's saying, okay, maybe I couldn't see it. Thanks for explaining it to me deeply. Do you know something, Nyasha? I have been waiting to talk to you about this, but I needed you to get to trust me enough so that I could talk to you about it. And thank you for allowing me to talk to you about it. Because other people in this room understand what you were feeling. All right? Other people have had that happen to them. It's not just you, honey. There will be other people listening to the broadcast that have got the same sort of thing going on, and you will have helped them. How does that feel? With you allowing me to talk about it, you will have helped so many people. But I have to tell you that you have every reason to be very proud of yourself because that is a difficult thing to talk about, right? But it's great learning. Nana's saying, she had meatloaf. She made meatloaf for Rick. But she's saying, we seldom have meatloaf because that's all I could eat when I was pregnant. Took me 40 years to get over it. Yeah, that's so cute. Nice one, Nana. Yes, so big round of applause for Nyasha. Nyasha, so proud of you. All right. And I want to tell you that there are an awful lot of people in the room tonight that will feel the same way. That's a big mental hurdle to get around. But just keep asking yourself, is this a fact? And don't let your emotion get in your way. All right. So listen to this. Nyasha saying, yes, they have really, right? And it all boils down to how my face looks. I don't think it looks stupid, but they do. That is their problem. It's your pleasure to help. I believe that, Nyasha. I believe that you are a very giving person. All right. I really do believe that you are a very giving person. I think you'd give the shirt off your back to help somebody. But I also know that you have had to protect yourself so much in your life. I just am so glad that we got to talk to you at this stage of your life. I really am. I am, I thank God almost every day that you were prepared to come and talk to us. Right. Nana's saying it's not our business to know what other people think. All right. Nor, it's just like people have said the most terrible things about me in my lifetime, Yasha. And, very, very, really, I've literally turned around and said, boy, I wish I'd done that. Because it's like, I don't know where they make this stuff up from. How many people? I had one woman, and Nana probably remembers this. One woman who said, that my nails were fake. All right. And not to believe anything I said about my nails because actually they're fake nails. Well, excuse me, if I had fake nails, would they be that different? Right? You don't have one hand of real nails and one hand of fake nails, right? This is like, these are my nails. I break I you know, I broke a lot of this one, or things happen. I broke this one this week, but it's 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 not true. These are my nails. All right. So yes, this is the whole point, isn't it, Nana? If we let it affect us, then they have won. That's the way I look at it. If we let it upset us, it means that they have got us emotionally. And sometimes, I had somebody, Nyasha, how about this one? I have a video, thanks to Nana's Rick. I have a video, which is my top video, and it has to do with a suggestion that Rick gave me to do with windshield wipers. And I had somebody write to me and tell me I did not belong in that group of people talking about windshield wipers. and you know why he thought that? It's because I don't know, you wouldn't tell me, but it's like, was it that I was a woman? Was it that I was, being funny? But what probably upset him is that I had the top ranking video. That would upset him. All right, so Isabel's saying, hi guys, I just got back from New Jersey, 10-hour trip, and tomorrow's another 5 hours to get home. Jody, I made a video of the sea for you. Tomorrow I will send it to Mama Sal. Oh, that is so awesome. Isabel, with tears in my eyes, thank you. Yeah, Nana, so he was a jerk. But now I've got to decide, do I want to reply to this guy? And Nyasha, do you understand how rude he was to me? You don't belong here, lady. Go away. And I wrote back and I just said, thank you for your opinion. Well, I did cry, Jody. Because, I remember you said that you would, Isabel, but I wasn't going to hold you to it. So, I'm pretty sure Nana, Rick, I certainly didn't expect that particular video to be seen as many times as it has been. It's been there for a long time now. But it's like it was just something I tried. It was an experiment. I can't believe that my Swiffer dusters, are close behind it. It's like you never know what videos people are going to like. All right, so Nana's saying, how many people give a voice to the haters on YouTube? Yeah, I thank them. And one thing I will thank Benji for, he taught me that very early on, not to get involved. Right? Don't try and defend it. Don't try and argue it. You're going to change your level of thinking. Yes, Nyasha. Increase your emotional intelligence. That's what we're working on this year. Right? If you can do that, you will have increased your emotional intelligence. And that will be wonderful for you. It'll make you a happier person. That was the one, boob. And do you know it has had like 250,000 views or something ridiculous? And if you want to see it, boob, just type into your phone or something. If you're not watching this on the phone, just type in squeaky windshield wipers. No, seriously, I can't remember how many, but somebody do it for me. Just type in squeaky windshield wipers and see how many views it's had. I think it's close to 250,000. That's what I thought. I think it is very close to that. It's well over 100,000 anyway. And I don't want to lie about it, but it's like it is amazing how that particular video has been seen, and because it's been there so long and had that many views, it ranks up at the top. And 212,000 views. Now you're probably all thinking I've made a fortune out of that, right? Please tell Rick I think I've made about $200 off it. Total. So don't think that I made a couple of grand or 20,000 out of that video. I haven't. I probably made a couple of hundred. I'll find out for you, Nana, and let you know the reality. Because everybody thinks, oh gosh, you got 212,000 views. 213, Jody's saying. Yeah, picky, Jody. I was happy with 212. But you'd understand. He wants his share, exactly. And I think, that's what I'm saying. I want him to understand I have not made a lot of money. He wants 10% of what I've earned, okay? Is that from you or from him? Maybe he wants 20. That's why I'd like to know. But, for an idea, well, if that is true, think about that. If that is true, I will pay him. Yeah, I had a feeling it was from you, not from him. That doesn't sound like. I want to tell you, Jody, I quite often do it. Thank you, Nana. I quite often do it, Jody. I'll be, I will be somewhere and somebody will say, she's a YouTuber, and they go, oh, really? Because they judge the hair and everything. And I go, yeah. Tell you what, why don't you just type in squeaky windshield wipers? And they go, what? I said, type in squeaky windshield wipers. And they go, why? I go, just out of interest. And they do it, and they go, you're the number one video. I go, yep, I am. That's one of my videos. And and then they'll say, how many views have you had? I said, 1.25 million. They go, what? I said, yeah, just go to Google and type in DearMamaSal. See how many times the name comes up. And if you just type in DearMamaSal these days, it's like, why? I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I've been doing it for 6 years, for goodness sake, people. There's a lot of me out there now. And so, what I love watching is people change. They start off going, oh, you're a YouTuber, are you? What do you talk about, little lady? And I go, just do me a favor. This is my name. I'll put my, give them my card. Just type that in to Google. And, as it starts populating, you can see them going, you're everywhere. I go, yep, that's true. So what I'm trying to say to Nyasha is, Nyasha, they judge me because of my hair. Yes, and I talk about all sorts of stuff, right? And you see, that's the other thing. I've always had a problem about being a YouTuber because everybody keeps saying you've got to have this little niche and that's what you need to talk about. And I go, I'm not, I talk about everything. I only want, really, my whole reason for being here is to help people like Nyasha or Jody or Nana or Lauren. If I think I can, if I can just give one thing that will help anybody, I want to be that person. Do you think I spend all these hours broadcasting for my own gratification? No. You see, it gives me such joy to have Nyasha go, I think maybe I need to have a little change of thinking about this. That makes me cry. To have Isabel tell us, that she bothered to take video of the ocean for Jody. That's what I do this for. Lauren, no, Lauren, thank you for saying that I literally saved your life. That is not true. I thank you for the compliment. I was just hit you with a very large 2x4 and asked you if you were going to grow up, and you decided to grow up and you took an adult decision to go and get yourself into hospital, that saved your life. I would love to tell you that I saved it. I don't think I did. I think you saved it. Hang on a second. Niash is asking, Mama Sal, how do you not get involved? As you had mentioned earlier. Yes, it's an interesting question. Would you like me to do a broadcast on how I do that? I would gladly do that to help people. Isabel, you touched a lot of hearts with this. All right? With that little gesture that you did. Isabel, it reminds me of something. When I lived in Africa, I'm certain you can understand this, that when I lived in Africa, okay, I lived in Johannesburg, which is in the center. Did I see what you said, Nana? The gift that keeps on giving. Is that the one that you want me to repeat? Anyway, so I lived in Johannesburg for quite a while, and that's landlocked right in the middle. And I had people who worked for me who had never seen the ocean, Isabel. And I happened to go to the ocean on vacation. And what I did is I took bottles with me. Okay. And in those days, we didn't have video and all that sort of stuff. So I took bottles and I filled the bottles with sand, some with dry sand, and some bottles I filled, I had a bottle like this and I filled it this much sand and then salt water. And then I put some shells in there and all sorts of things. And I kept all the bottles and brought them home. Okay. And why? Because the people I was bringing them home to had never seen the ocean in their lives. And so I wanted them to see what it tasted like and what it looked like. And so I took pictures. Wow, Nana, that is an incredible thing. Thank you for telling me that. Nana's saying that the viewers help other people because of the channel, of what they've learned here. I think that's wonderful. And I thank you for that, because every time you do that, you understand it makes it worth the time I spend broadcasting. Niesh is saying, I feel like it can go hand in hand with overcoming being too emotional. Yes. The emotions are not helping you. Keep to the facts. And we'll help you, Niasha. We're all learning it, honey, not just you. So do you understand? I brought the ocean home with me. And then I had one particular person who worked for me and had worked for me for a long time. And I was about to go on a vacation to the ocean again. And guess what? We were going camping away from civilization and everything else. And in a country where this wasn't done in those days, I actually packed up my servant and I said, come on, you're coming on vacation with me. And she said, what? And I said, you're coming camping. And she said, what? I said, I'm taking you to the sea. Can you imagine? She not only went to the sea, she lived in a tent, and it was amazing because, we used to go take a whole series of RVs, like 3 or 4 families took their RVs together and went to the sea. And this particular year, I took Poppy with me, and she had her own tent and everything else. And guess what? Because Poppy was Poppy, she was cooking and doing stuff. And then we took her down to the sea and we taught her how to wade in the water. And we taught her, we put water wings on her and took her out and taught her how to swim in the sea. And I want to tell you something. It was an amazing experience. But you know what was the funniest thing of all? The following year, everybody brought people with them, right? All the families brought people from their houses with them to let them experience that. And that to me was the joy. I found that was incredible. Okay, Boob's asking me, last time I was in the chat, you were in the process of downsizing. Done that. And moving, have not done that. I'm in the process of now selling the house, and it's downsized. It's been shown a few times, but the market is really dead, and that's okay. It is what it is. So right now, um, right now, I'm in the process of selling. Right? So thank you for your interest. Yes, I started a trend without even meaning to. And you know, it was so funny because when Poppy went back, she said to me, you know, Miss Sally, before we go back, we got to take the sea with us again. And I said, what? You remember you brought the sea home for me? And I said, yes. She said, can we do it for the others? And I said, sure. You know, and I collected all the empty wine bottles, of which we had quite a few. And Poppy and I went back to the sea and we filled up with sand and water. And then we took more of the sea back for people who had never, ever seen it and tasted it and felt it. And, you know, some tried to drink the water, and guess what? They threw up. You know, and I did keep saying to them, please do not drink the water. It's bad for you. And, you know, it can kill you. So please don't drink the water. But, you know, some had to try it, didn't they? Anyway, so what I wanted to say is, Isabel, to you, it probably wasn't a big thing. Right, Isabel, that you took the time to take pictures of the ocean for Jody. I know Jody well enough to know that you could have bought her you know, 1,001 material things, and it would not have had the same impact as what you have just done. And I want you to know that that is an incredibly kind and generous gift. And Isabel, I am proud of you, and I am deeply touched by your generosity of that. It really is wonderful. And I know that Jody has had a difficult day today, and I know that she probably doesn't have the words to sort of quite explain what that generosity of heart means to her. The gift of time and effort. Yeah. It's a pretty important thing, and that's something we can all learn from. All right, just that little time that says, I thought of you while I was away. Isabel, I hope you had a wonderful time. But you understand you just made your trip twice as meaningful. Not only is Jody touched, but we're all touched, all right? Well done. And I wanted to tell my version of it, Isabel, because you understand you start a trend like that. There'll be other people saying, who do I know, you know, that can't get out at the moment? I'm thinking about Nana's neighbor, you know, that's going into hospice or whatever. You know, there are things that we can do, all right? Um, that we can show people that we didn't forget about you, all right? And so, you know, I keep thinking about Nana's neighbor. And oh, you had a wonderful time. I'm so pleased that you had such a wonderful time. So you walked up the boardwalk. Oh, I can't wait to see that footage. What I want to know is, um, I I will pass the footage obviously on to Jody, but what I wanted to know is, you know, can I share some of that footage to show the lesson to other viewers? Nana, I understand that she's going into hospice, but what I'm saying is that does she still know who you are? It's not about taking her out, it's bringing the world back for her. The way that Isabel took some footage. Okay, when you can talk about it, you will. All right, Nana, I understand. What I'm saying is, I don't mean take her out. I'm saying bring the world into her. So if you're allowed to, and if she, is still capable of recognizing it, I'm not really trying to tell you what to do, Nana. I'm just trying to take um, what Isabel has done and shown it as an example. So, Isabel, if that's okay, I would love to talk about that gift that you gave. I want to see if I've got the pronunciation. Actually, I won't use your last name, all right, when I tell the story. All right. Um, when I tell the story, I'll just say Isabel, if that's okay. So, yeah, and I'm thinking about this, Nana, because I'm certain that there are quite a few people who've have friends in hospice at the moment, and so that's again it's a difficult time. I think it's as difficult for you because you were so close, and that eh, that yeah, exactly. It's been very hard on you. It probably harder on you than it will be on her. And so again, when you're ready to, maybe talk about it because there are going to be other people who have to put their friends into hospice. Hey, maybe I need to go in. And I am certain that you have, you talking about why it's so difficult. I'm certain will help other people who have family members or friends that need to go in. And, do any of you volunteer at a hospice? I was actually very seriously thinking, after I've moved, that I will see if I can do that. Yes, I think that's true, Jody. There may be a gift in sharing the story. Yeah, and that's, I had a friend of mine, Nana, who actually volunteered in a hospice all the time. And she did the most incredible things with the people there. And I was thinking, again, I was thinking, I wonder how many people would love to learn how to throw paint at canvases the way that I do. I'm thinking, people with cancer, people with brain tumors, da, 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 da. I think maybe it's time for me to look at where can I share this, what is a skill, but it is a pretty, interesting skill to play with for people because it takes you right out of reality. Right, and that is wonderful. Can I repeat that, Nana? And that is so important that you got to tell her that while she was lucid. That's wonderful. I'm so happy for you. Okay, so Nana's saying, but she did get to see her and tell her all that she wanted to tell her, while she could almost understand. And she lit up when she saw Nana's husband, Rick, and even called him by name. That is wonderful. I'm so happy for you. Yeah, it's the same thing, Jody. I think Nana's saying she got to hug her and hold her. That's wonderful. And Nana, you made such a difference in her life, and she knows that, and you know that. That's not why you do it; it's who you are, and that is wonderful. It is very hard. It's hard on you, harder on you than it is on her. One of the things that I heard way back, Nana, is that the caregivers, have more stress than the patients. In other words, if you've ever cared for somebody, it takes more out of you than it does out of the person that you're caring for. She made your life better, yes, but there are other people that need your help. It's she's not the only one that needs your love. All right. So this is like there's a big world out there, Nana, and you really do have that ability. and you are so caring. And, this is like next. Find yourself another person. She gave you so much. Yes, you're not physically, you're just mentally, right? The same thing is that I'm very seriously looking at when I've moved and got settled again. It's like, what am I going to do next? All right. And so, I used to donate a lot of time. I think some of you have heard me talk about this. Um, I used to give time to the women's prison, which was not an easy thing to do. But, I really felt I could make a difference there with my mentality. And I think for 6 years, I donated my summers going into the women's prison and working with them. So what I'm looking at is we smiled a bit today and we laughed a bit today, but we also moved with the flow and then ended up talking about completely different things, as we always do. And that's what I love about doing the broadcast. And so these are all important things. Nyasha, I want to thank you for allowing us to tell your story a little bit, and in doing so help not only you, but a lot of other people. What am I going to do next? All right. Am I going to use one of my many wood routers to make a masterpiece? That is actually a very good question. I think I've got 4 or 5 of them. No, maybe more. I've got the Dremel one, and I've got the huge one, the floor mounted one, and 2 handheld. I think I've got 4 or 5. All right. Yeah, I think I got 4 or 5. But people keep saying, "Are you gonna sell these?" I go, "No." Until I know where I am going, I am not selling any of my woodworking stuff. Well, I am so glad that you're glad to help, Nyasha, because you definitely will help at least one other person somewhere along the line here. And it may be years from now, but this is not going to go away. This video is going to stay, and you will never know who you help through your story. And there are other people that are allowing these labels to affect them emotionally, when really, if it's a fact and it's true, it's okay. All right, everybody. So I'm sending you a big hug. I obviously will be doing a long drive in to go and see Marnie. For those of you, actually, I should do a little route map for you so you can see where I'm going. How many of you would like that? Wow, isn't that amazing, Boob? Isn't that the truth? I can't remember what I had for lunch, but I can remember stuff about people from months ago. You do a good job, Boob. And by the way, we're always pleased to see you. Come back again. Don't be a stranger. So all of you, thank you for being here, because the only reason this works is because you are here and because people share their stories, and their stories help other people. And for that, I really do thank you. Yeah, I am merely the spokesperson at the front end of it, if you like. Lauren, thank you for your inspiration. And how many hours is it now that you've been on fast, Lauren? Good night to you, Nana, and thank you for letting us tell. Good night, Sharon. Good to see you here. Isabel, I look forward to. I'm going to talk about what you did on my vlog when I'm driving tomorrow. It'll be a great subject for me to talk about on my. I got quite a long drive. Um, so I thank you for this, because, and then when you send me the footage, what I will do is I will put some of the footage in and explain what you did, because it was magical. Lauren, keep up the great 23 hours. Lauren has done a 23-hour fast. You're going for 24, right? Do you think I can do it? I'm not doing it this week. I'm still on 18. By the way, how many hours have I got left? This is very important now. I've got to think about that. Do I have to distract myself even more, or am I just about there? Let us see. Home, 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 home. Oh, come on. Ugh. Lauren passed you. I know. She's just a superstar. Hang on one second. Life fasting. That's what it's called. Did I do it? Did I do it? Da-da-da-da. Come on. Show me the picture. Oh, I just realized. Of course I didn't. I ate the bread. Right. So there you. Well, you know something, Pat? It doesn't matter how we do it, right? The fact is you made a difference in your body and helped your longevity because of it. Yeah, Lauren, we are so proud of you. Well done. And I just realized, of course, that when I baked the bread for Jody showing that video, I ate a piece of the bread. So I broke my fast hours ago. And here I am looking to see if I've done it. I need to get eating now because I've only got a couple of hours before I fast again. And all I've had is a piece of bread. All right, how much food do you think I can get inside me in the next 2 hours? Quite a bit. How often do you have to do it? None. You don't have to do it at all. Pat. Hi, Nolene. How you doing? um, you don't have to do it at all. I actually, I tried it for 1 day, Pat, to see how I did, and it actually was much easier than I thought. So I went on for a second day. I think I've been doing it for 11 or 12 days to help. Anytime you fast for more than 12 hours is a day that it helps. Yeah, and I'm doing it to help with my diabetes. We'll talk about it as we go along. All right, I'll keep updating you. Um, Lauren, how long have you been doing it? But is it safe? Think about it, Pat. Do you know anybody that does Ramadan? Because they do fasting every day for a month, every year. Is it safe? Pat, do me a favor, if you would. I think it's intermittent fasting, not ant, but you understand. All right. The thing is this: I fast for 18 hours and eat for 6. So I'm still eating every day. I'm just basically narrowing the time in which I eat. Does that make sense? And it's actually way easier than counting calories or carbs or anything else. It's like a cleansing. Yeah. It's like anything you do over 12. So just do your own research in it. And see, I actually looked it up at the Mayo Clinic, Pat, because I also wanted to know, is it safe? And I was quite interested what the Mayo Clinic had to say. So to me, it's like I will be discussing it with my doctor. I have to work out what that is. For that to, we'd need more information on that, right? How tall are you makes a difference, all right? So how tall are you, honey? Jody, can you make a note of this for us so that we can have a look at this for her? And you definitely have diabetes? Okay, so you're about 109 kg, and you don't know how tall you are. Oh, and you don't know if you got diabetes. Okay. The chances are, if you are well overweight, you probably, if you hadn't got it, you're probably on your way to it. Yep. Okay. So, how tall are you, honey? We need that. We need that factor. And I'm 10 minutes over time, and I have to be out of here tomorrow. How tall are you, Nyasha? What we'll do is we'll find that, we'll do the calculations. Yeah, I'm on overtime. I charge extra. Nyasha, how tall are you, honey? Because once we have that, we can do the calculation for you. You're not sure how tall you are? Really? Go to a door frame, stand against it, put a ruler on your head and mark, and then measure it. Let us know. We will do the calculations. The main thing is, we'll explain it to you next week. How about that? Now, there was something else I've got to do, not got to, that I said I would do. Oh, how do I protect myself from the negativity? Okay, that was the other thing. Yeah. So you don't get diabetes. Exactly. And the main thing is that, I would like everybody. So, Nolene, I said I thought it was you that was also doing the fasting. No, I just wanted to measure how tall she is, not how tall the door frame is. Yeah, get it first and just send it to me. Once you send it to me, we'll do the calculation, and we'll work out what you might want to think about. It's not about, a doctor can do a blood test and tell you. That is the whole thing. If you are diabetic, it will show up in your blood test. And with the situation that you have going on, I'm pretty sure you have that blood test done anyway. But you may want to ask your doctor, right, to check you for diabetes. Doesn't matter, either inches or centimeters. We are quite good at converting. Right? Give it to us in inches. It's probably easier. We'll let Lauren talk in centimeters. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. So, Nyasha, do not fast without checking with your doctor. You've got too many other issues going on. All right? However, we can help you. Well, they do say that you're diabetic. Okay, yeah, that's why I'm doing it. I want to get my blood glucose under control. All right, so we'll talk more about it. And, not something you need to do this week. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for helping one another. And I hope you found something of value to you in this particular broadcast. I know I have, and I'm very, very grateful. Big hugs to you. Look after yourselves. I understand, like Nana, right? Very good at looking after other people, but please remember, look after yourself as well. All right. And we'll see you soon. Great to see you again, Boob. Come back. Don't leave it so long. This is DearMamaSal saying, see you Sunday, and bye-bye for now.